Hi, my friends. Dean here with Escape to Gaming. I've been took a couple days off. I've been feeling well. Took a break from work. I've just been on a marathon like 7 days a week, so got a few days off. I was going to try to do this rant yesterday, and I just was in a fetal position, recovering all day yesterday. But pretty much, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Everyone's been talking about naturally, which is EA shutting down Visceral Games, which is absolutely tragic. Here we go once again. It's funny, my channel has been up for just about 5 years now. I think it was 5 years last month. And it's a small channel. It hasn't grown that much. I've got newer friends of mine that just started their channel in the last year or so, and they're quickly catching up with my viewers or subs or numbers or whatever, however you want to call it. And probably will surpass me because I've kind of focused my viewpoints, and I focus my channel talking about the things that I feel are naturally important to me. They're the way that I look at gaming. And I started the channel because I could see the direction that gaming was going back in 2012. I was on the internet for a few years, in like 2009, 10, 11, and 12. I was just chomping at the bit. I was seeing so many game reviews, many of them bad, jaded reviews, overly critical, nitpicking games, and then shortly, not long after, you'd see poor sales, and guess what? Another studio closes its door, and I would say to myself, "Are you happy now, guys? This is what you wanted, When you don't buy the game, you crap all over it and urinate on it. This is what happens to good studios, and many talented people are out of work. It doesn't mean that every game has to be accepted as a wonderful work of art, and certainly there's only so much money, in time that you can invest in all the games. I can't buy every game that's out. There's no way, but I have to pick and choose. But I built my channel to support gaming, and I made a stand back in September of 2012. I said I'm going to build a channel championing all games. Naturally, we love the AAA, Red Dead Redemptions and GTA 5 and the Tomb Raider reboot. There's so many wonderful games that are just stellar games, and they should be heralded. They should be heralded and put up on a pedestal, certainly. But there's many other games that are considered average, or just like there's movies. There's AAA movies and there's considered B movies. The films that are kind of oddball, quirky films, low-budget movies, but they're just as fun, whether it's a grindhouse movie like Death Proof or, other ones. It just, people didn't have a lot of money, but they did the best they could, made a good film. And to me, I look at kind of B-movie games the same way. They're just as entertaining. And so I don't look at this, there's good games and there's bad games. I rarely ever come across what I consider a bad game. I'd be hard-pressed to think of 5 or 6 bad games, to be honest with you, because I like most of them, and I find the fun in games. Doesn't mean you have to have a Pollyanna attitude towards every game that comes out, but I give games a chance. And there's AAA games that I just really don't do it for me. Assassin's Creed, Halo, many huge, well-received games that I'm not a big fan of. I see why people like them, and I validate my friends that want to hold those games up and champion those games. That's great. And if you enjoy those games, that's fine. But I built my my YouTube presence and show on a position, on a stance. This is really what the core of this rant's going to be about. Something I've never really talked about. I've delved into lots of elements that will be in this rant, but I've never really talked about having a position, making a stand for what you believe in, making a stand with your wallet, and being convicted and not wavering from it. There's so many channels, YouTube channels out there. Some of them review tech in the United States, if you get my meaning, that I used to enjoy many years ago, like 2011, 12, whatever, but I saw the flip-flopping, and they say, that's it, this console is crap, don't buy this console. Then they go out and they buy the console after a whole video, clickbait videos, on why this console sucks and you shouldn't buy it, why it's terrible. And then they go out and buy it. Then they return it, and then they rebuy it, and the same thing with games. They make a big thing about, microtransactions in games. They'll hold a game up. That's it. we shouldn't buy this game. It's filled with microtransactions. But then they go out and they buy the game, and some of them will even say in the same video, it's like, yeah, they'll complain all the cons, yeah, this game is this, and I don't like this, and this is what's killing the gaming industry. But who am I kidding? I'm going to probably buy it and play it, and you'll see that with, sometimes even the Angry Joes, you'll see it with other personalities. I don't get into name calling, and I like Angry Joe, and I've subbed to him for years, even though I think that he's almost personally responsible for, destroying the sales of a lot of games. And some of them are frankly good games that I feel that he went too far. So I'm glad that he made $1 off from putting down these studios, but now that the studios are gone, it's kind of no laughing matter, but neither here nor there. I see it for what it is. I know it's entertainment. Yeah, and there's some good information and captured gameplay. You can certainly read between the lines and see for yourself whether you think that game would appeal to you or not. But this EA thing, I've got the Polygon thing here. I mean, everyone's probably seen this and read this. I'll try to have a link to it if I can. But, EA Star Wars Pivot is a vote of no confidence in single-player games. Millions of single-player games suddenly cried out in terror. It's humorous, but it's kind of sad. It's hard to really laugh at it when you think of Visceral Games, a wonderful studio that makes fantastic quality games. I mean, I got some of their games right here. You got Battlefield Hardline. I liked it. I don't understand what the hate was. Now again, I don't do multiplayer. And again, I built my channel on, again, defending, average games that I felt that should have been received better and that get really unfair reviews. And I also built my channel on the premise of I'm a single player gamer and I'm also an offline gamer. So I'm sure if I try, and I had people who are like, Dean, if you really want to grow your channel, you got to play multiplayer, you got to play single player, you got to accept all the trends and talk about them, the good, the bad, the ugly, and uphold them all. And to me, it's like I said, I can't do that. I wouldn't be genuine. I'm going to build my channel based on the perspective of an older gamer that likes single-player offline games. So I'm radically limiting my audience, obviously. And I don't say this to upset anyone. I don't want to get under anyone's skin. People will, people will perceive you the way they want to see you. I just do the best that I can to tell you what I like. I don't go out of my way to put down multiplayer games. It's just not my cup of tea. But if you like, I had my day in the sun with it. And I just burned out with it. I was playing Need for Speed The Run, and on that particular game, you can't turn the audio off. And all I kept hearing was just every other word was "fuck this" and "fuck that," and guys ripping huge bong hits. You can hear them doing bong hits over the mic. And then, "Who's this Mad Max motherfucker? Fuck you!" And they're just like ramming, and it's like they get like a committee to try to take you out, and it's like, it wasn't fun. I'm like, one day, and I was doing well with it too, and I just said, this is not fun to me anymore. And I stopped playing it. I think the last game I played online actually was Burnout Paradise with some friends locally here in town who are really like the top 800 Call of Duty players. They do very well. It's all they play is multiplayer Call of Duty. They set me up with a Bluetooth thing. And they kind of got me on, into multiplayer for a short while years ago, about 5-6 years ago. And I played, both of him and his son both would have both of their Xbox 360s, and then I had mine, and we'd play Burnout Paradise. And I had some of the funnest memories of playing that game. And sometimes we just play Follow the Leader and just race each other around town and raise hell. It was a lot of fun. But I just burned out on it. I just got tired of the whole scene. So for me, I said, I'm going to build my channel on single-player offline games, and and I'll review the games that I like. Not every game, but just the ones I like, and I'll hold them up and say, I like this game, and here's the reasons why. So I'm radically limiting my audience by doing that. But anyway, this is so sad. This, Visceral Games, Battlefield Hardline. I like it. A lot of people didn't like it, so. I saw this coming with Battlefield Hardline. I'm not surprised. Army of Two, Devil's Cartel. I love this game. I started playing this. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this. I couldn't put it down. I sat through and played this, I think, over 2 nights, I loved it. I'm shocked it got such negative reviews. I think I had someone give it to me or something, and I'm like, well, I'll try it, I guess, I love the game. Visceral Games made this a great game. There's nothing wrong with it. I love the game. Godfather 1 and 2, wonderful games. I like The Godfather 2. Oops, excuse me, as buggy as it is, it's still a fun game. The Godfather I played on the original Xbox. I'm yet to play this 360 version. It's a wonderful game. They made so many great games. And they made a lot of the James Bond games. I think Agent Under Fire and a couple other ones. And of course my favorite, From Russia with Love. So I have a huge love for Visceral Games. And this is terrible to see them shut the studio down. I'm pretty sure, isn't it Visceral Games is doing the new Call of Duty World War II game, which wonderful cutscenes. I don't know. I just don't get it. But this is the world we live in because no one is buying games. I mean, even it was Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, which I bought at launch to support the company because I like the company. The game sold very poorly. I don't know how Mafia 3 did. I know that there were some games. I think the first Dishonored game did very well, but the second one sold, like 40% of what the first one did. Not very good numbers at all, What was the other one? There's another game I just wrote down here that I was shocked to hear how bad the sales were. Oh, The Evil Within 2 of course it's new. It hasn't, not all the numbers are in yet, but it sold 25% of what the first one did. So you can see there's definitely been a drop in people buying new games. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why they're not buying them. If it's because of, bored or jaded indifferent reviews. Maybe there's, too many games for them to decide. I know that even that Evolve game that was a multiplayer-only game, and the first Titanfall were really hot and heavy for a few weeks or a month or so, and then they shut the servers down on those. They just all of a sudden dropped off the planet. People just stopped playing them. So you're seeing a trend. It's like even if a game sells millions of copies, it's not enough. It's got to sell 30 million copies, or it's a failure. And that's what's sad. There's a lot of pressure. And I'm not one of these, let's demonize it's capitalism and it's these greedy corporations. Yes, some corporations are greedy. EA and Activision immediately come to mind. And it's a shame because EA makes some games that I like, and Activision makes some games that I like as well, or at least they publish some games that I like. But I'm seeing a pattern, and I've built my channel on making a stance. I made a stance in 2012 that I will not play any more online multiplayer. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't want to do it for me. This is not a slam on online multiplayer. I have lots of friends who are PC gamers who play tons of online multiplayer. If you have fun and you found the perfect groups that you support each other and you like the way you play together and you play as teams or want to play Payday the Heist or a lot of these big co-op squad-based games or whatever. The Rainbow Six game, again, it's all online. Even a lot of these games that had single-player games like Rainbow Six, Las Vegas 1 and 2, wonderful games, excellent squad-based tactical shooters. But God forbid you put an offline single-player campaign in it. It's terrible. And if you get a campaign, it's like, here's your goddamn campaign, 3 hours, motherfucker. And they throw it in there, and it's like, be happy. That'll shut those cocksuckers up, And it bothers me that this is where we're at with gaming, that it's all multiplayer-centric. Linear is now a bad word. Have a game that's linear, no one wants it. So even the single-player games we are getting are gravitating towards big open-world games. Because everyone's got to have, if you can't get 50, 60 hours out of your game, it's shit. And they're ripping us off at $60. Games have never been cheaper to me. I mean, I'm shocked that we're not paying $120 for a game now. Now, maybe we are if you add up the season passes and microtransactions and all the DLC to complete the game. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. We're obviously paying a lot more than the $60. But again, for me, it's kind of not a reality because I don't do multiplayer gaming. So all this loot crate stuff is like a non-issue for me. But I certainly validate my friends that aren't thrilled with it, that aren't happy with the direction, this pay-to-win stuff. I would be furious if I was into online gaming. So from my limited knowledge of what's going on with that, with the microtransactions being infused into every game, this whole fiasco over, where's my vindication? There's like close to 50 comments on that Gran Turismo video I commented on the other day. I played none of this so far, but I played a hell of a lot of this Gran Turismo 3, and both of these have one thing in common. They're both offline, and they have a wonderful career mode that you can sink 1,000,000 hours in. I hate to think how many cars, hundreds of cars in this. And what do you get, 175 cars or something? A very small amount of cars in the new Gran Turismo Sport compared to this. A lot of tracks it doesn't have, and no career mode. And I was right. Where's my apology? I'll never hear it from those guys, but this is the internet. It's the world we live in. So it's nice to be vindicated when all the reviews are coming out, and now it's coming out. Everyone knows it now. It's an online game. You can't even save your progress unless you're online. So that game is of absolutely no use to me. I don't care how gorgeous the HDR lighting is. I don't care how beautiful the Ferrari red is and how accurate it is. It's all wasted. It's like casting pearls before swine, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. So, great job, devs. Made a gorgeous looking game that a lot of people, like myself, will never touch. And maybe like the previous Need for Speed game that was online only that did very poorly in sales. I'm hoping this Need for Speed Payback will do better, because I want to encourage, and that's why I pre-order the game, even though I'm fighting my own convictions about pre-order. This is one area I'm perplexed. There's two areas, actually. The digital games, digital-only games, which frustrate me. I love my physical media, but let's face it, a lot of these games are frankly keys now. To download the real game with all the proper patches and everything, you better have an online connection or you're going to be fucked. And so you have to wonder how valid these even are. At least you can sell them and trade them in, and there's some value to them, where if you buy it digitally, that's it, you're done. And I like looking at the boxes and having it in a library on the shelf. It's just nice to look at the games and everything, but you have to wonder, the line is blurred with my beloved Mad Max game. If I had a brand new PS4 and 20 years from now I open it out of the box and plug this game in, I'm going to have a lot of game-breaking bugs in that game. Horrible frame rate, major audio issues up the ass, a game-breaking bug where your map vanishes and you cannot continue the game. So you have to wonder that even the digital age, I don't even know if there's an advantage to buying physical media anymore. It's because of my limited knowledge, and I don't know the future of where it's going. It's troubling. I get great games like Call of Juarez Gunslinger. There is no physical way that I know of to get that game. Should I boycott that game because I can't buy it physically? It's one of the best Call of Juarez games. It may even be the best one. And I have and love all of them. So I'm torn. A friend of mine told me about, I can't remember who it was, mentioned in one of his videos about, it's been out for years, Zombie Driver HD. And they remastered it years ago. Now you can even get on the Xbox One, an even better version of it, Director's Cut or something like that. But I just got the game the other day for $10 off Xbox Live Arcade via my Xbox 360, dashboard, and downloaded it and all the content. It looks great. I'm really excited about playing that game. That's one of the big games I'm going to play this weekend. That one and another one that I'm going to show. And I felt bad. I never heard about that game before, but because it was digital only, I dismissed it. That's why when I go through the A to Z games to buy, if it wasn't like a physical box, I quite often would pass on it, and only buy the ones. I didn't like a lot of the arcade type games, although I do have quite a few of them off Xbox Live Arcade. So it's confusing. I don't know that. The other big issue for me where there's a real gray area is pre-ordering games. After what I went through with this, I said, that's it, I'm done with pre-ordering games. Screw these guys. And that's a lot of people have taken that stance, but the problem is by doing that and not buying the games at launch or paying, paying fairly full price. You could just wait for the game to hit $16 in the bargain bin, and that's great, you save money, but it's not going to help the game studio and developers to keep their doors open. So I'm torn, very, very torn with that, because I want to support the games that I like, and I've been buying some games, pre-ordering some games, the ones like the new Wolfenstein 2 Colossus. I love that game. You better believe I want to support that studio. Where is that? In fact, if you go back to their roots, which I just read a wonderful article about them in the new Game Informer magazine, that did this Wolfenstein The New Order. even though I bought the Old Blood digitally, day one, weeks later or a month or so later, they came out with a physical release. I paid full price again at launch to support the studio, because I want them to make more of the games that I like. This is one of the last holdouts left for real single-player only, old-school FPS action. And my God, if they go, Machine Games doesn't make it, that's it. There's not going to be much left. I love Syndicate. I wouldn't listen to the jaded reviews in this. This is an outstanding cyberpunk game, very stylish, extremely violent, very cool. It had an even better co-op if you're into multiplayer. I refuse to see the negatives on this game. The game is a stellar game. I love Starbreeze Studios. Starbreeze Studios are best guys left and started Machine Games. The Darkness 1 and 2, outstanding games. Great games. The Chronicles of Riddick. I've got this one. I have the original Butcher Bay one. Because of these stellar games that have meant so much to me and I've been so immersed in, you better believe I'm going to be supporting and pre-ordering the new game. That's why I do it. That's my number one reason. Now, initially I pre-ordered games because I lived up in the desert and it was 56 miles to my nearest game store. And if I didn't pre-order, Vice City or Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, they'd be sold out. And then I'd drive all the way down the hill. Oh, shit, you don't have any left? Oh, God, should have been here a day ago. We had a few copies. Now we get none. And I kept calling him and driving down the hill again. So I said, you know what, I'm going to pre-order. So I started pre-ordering Roadkill and a lot of those PS2 and original Xbox games I would pre-order only because I didn't want to lose out. Now today, they typically make more than enough. It's almost not even warranted to pre-order it, but you do get some incentives. I like some of the extra car skins and weapons and upgrades. The Mad Max, you get the Ripper car and the Road Warrior little challenge thing or something. A couple of things you get in them. Some games have very little and some have quite a bit. But, that's how it is. And the same thing like with Gearbox. I know a lot of people hate them. I bought this Bulletstorm remastered edition with Duke Nukem at launch because I want to support the people that can fly. I like this and I would like another Bulletstorm. So that's why I bought the game. I think I pre-ordered this one. Yeah, I did early on. And I wanted more Duke Nukem. So you better believe I bought the Duke Nukem World Tour, 3D World Tour, because I said, maybe they're toying with making another Duke Nukem game. And if the sales do well on these games which have Duke Nukem in them, then maybe they'll make another game that I like. I'm one of the few old school gamers that likes the Duke Nukem franchise. I'd like to see more of it. I like Alien Colonial Marines. I got to finish the DLC. It's a great game. I bought the collector's edition and I bought another copy for a friend and the strategy guide. So I spent a lot of money, a couple $100 buying this game at launch. I'm not disappointed at all. And when they asked Randy Pitchford about it, they think, you got to admit it's a bad game. He says, no, I think it's a good game. It may not be as polished as some people would like, but it plays fine and it's in the Alien universe. It does a lot of things right. It's not a fantastic game, but there's a lot of things I like about this game. I want to apologize for it, and I want to apologize for liking this either. I like this game. I see the problems with it. Considering the development hell, I think we're better off for having it than not having it. I'm glad that I've had this game to play. I've played it a couple times. I love this game. It's a fun game, and I love these Brothers in Arms games. I need to finish this one. I've played both of these on the PlayStation 2 and on the Xbox. Wonderful games. So I support Gearbox. Yeah, no, maybe there's more that meets the eye with behind the scenes of whether they knew what was going on with Sega and whether they misappropriated funds, for Aliens, Colonial Marines. I don't know, and I don't care. I support the companies that make the games that I like. So it's sad to see, these guys are gone now. And not only that, but Black Box, who makes some of my other favorite games, my favorite Need for Speed games that Black Box made. Need for Speed The Run. I love this game. My favorite game in the series because it's a cannonball run story. California to New York, wide open, great set piece moments, great cars, some of the best handling in any Need for Speed game, by the way. Need for Speed Undercover, I've never played. I bought it, but the Black Box did this one. They did this Most Wanted, which I absolutely love. I've played this on the 360 and on the original Xbox all the way through. A wonderful game, one of the best in the series. And my beloved Need for Speed 2, a wonderful game that Black Box did. I think they did the Skate 3, which I have for the PlayStation 3 as well. So it's a great studio. Thanks, EA, for shutting them down, too, because I really like them. I really hate to see these guys go. It's so sad. Sad to me. But when no one buys the games, and when it becomes fashionable to shit on a game because Angry Joe did it, or IGN, or GameSpot, or anyone else, or then God forbid you even say something positive about the game in any comment section of any mainstream video, you'll be nailed to the cross, pretty much, sadly. Let's not even get into pandemic. I've been watching this friend of mine who does a wonderful, in fact, I'll have a link for his channel down below. Alpha is his channel name is. He does a wonderful channel. He does Let's Plays. I've been watching his complete playthrough of Rage and The Saboteur. I've got to catch up. I'm a couple videos behind now. He's a really fun Let's Player. I've been wanting to shout his channel out for a while. I'll have a link for it down below. But watching his playthrough of this, I think he's playing it maybe on a PC, I'm not sure, or the PlayStation 3, I think. But it reminded me of how much fun I had in this game. And I was crushed when Pandemic Studios closed their door. I have the Mercenaries 1 and 2. I have the old original Xbox One and this one. Destroy All Humans 1 and 2 I have. Plus I bought them on the PlayStation 4 as well. And of course the Battlefront games. Wonderful games. This is a good studio. I would have much rather it had Pandemic Studios making the new Star Wars Battlefront instead of DICE. As nice as DICE did a great job. Visually it looks good, but it's like it has no soul to it. At least the first one. Second one I already am not liking what I'm seeing, but that's another rant. Terminal Reality. You did my wonderful Roadkill, one of my favorite racing car combat games of all time. They did the fantastic Ghostbusters, which I've yet to play. My buddy Mikey, Dean, you've got to play this. My God, you've got to play this Ghostbusters game. It's so good. If you love Ghostbusters as much as I do, and Mikey's a huge fan of this, he said, you've got to play this. I think the Wii version's a little different too, completely different, but still a great looking game. I might have to get the Wii version as well now that I've got a Wii. And they made, their last game they made was The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, which I absolutely love. I think they shut their doors down right after this because thanks to guys like Angry Joe that pissed on it, urinated on it, the game didn't do well. This is a very competent zombie game. I think it's one of the best FPS zombie games ever made. It does so many things right. The worst thing you can say about this is the graphics are somewhat average and stale. It's almost like looking at a kind of a late original Xbox game at times. And then sometimes the lighting and the looks of things look pretty good. They could have used more character models in the way of zombies and like more cars instead of having the same 5 cars duplicated endlessly for the backgrounds. It could have, would it kill you to maybe have a few more car models or zombie models? But other than that, this is a great game. I absolutely love this game. This is my favorite. I like this way better than Dead Rising. This is an intense, really good stealth game. You have to, it has guns in it, but you want to be careful using the guns. I like this. And it really does put you in the Walking Dead universe. I don't understand the hate for this game. If you look at reviews in this, it gets crapped on. But you'll also, even the escapists like this. They did a really, one of those little kind of cartoon vignettes of this, and they actually kind of hold the game up. Some people that have played this and that see the good in it know how good this game is, but thanks guys, now we no longer have Terminal Reality because everyone decided to shit on this because it became the in thing. Nice. So that company's gone. Here you've got Eurocon, one of my favorite developers. It did my, Predator Concrete Jungle. They did the wonderful 007 GoldenEye Reloaded, which initially was on the Wii, and then they remastered it with like all new textures and graphics. Of course, there's no blood in it, but a great game. This game got really good reviews, good scores. This game was made in a little less than a year, 10 months, whatever. And I've got a friend of mine, Matt Farrell, that had worked on these games. And so I've got inside information on these games, and there's, they were under a lot of pressure to get these games out. Naturally, the big companies, a movie coming out, the new 007 film that they had to, they want the game to come out at the same time as the movie. So they're under a lot of pressure, but this game has all of the quality and excellent level design colors, and a lot more RPG elements, blood, things that weren't even in the GoldenEye Reloaded. For this game to get 4 out of 10s and 5 out of 10s, and for this game to get 8.5s and 9s is illogical. They are literally just as good. The music is even better in this one. There's Bond gadgets and stuff in this that aren't even in this game. It is illogical for this game to get worse reviews than this one. But because that's the world we live in. Back in 2012, games were getting probably the worst negative nitpicking reviews I've ever seen. That's why I started my channel, to try to champion good games. So thanks. Now Eurocom is gone. We don't buy these games. If we listen to the bullshit and don't really give games a fair chance, and don't just watch just a couple mainstream reviews, take the time to look at several reviews of little guys. Guys sitting on the edge of his bed with a bowl of cereal holding a game up. Watch his review. Watch the mainstream reviews. Watch the guys doing it on Patreon. Watch the guys doing it because they like to do YouTube and they don't care about monetizing. Watch them all and think for yourself, guys. We're going to lose more great companies. Don't even get me started. On Raven Software. Wonderful, wonderful games. My God, wonderful games. And many more than these. And to see what has happened to Raven Software is relocated. Where is it? In fact, I think they did the remaster of this. They're relocated to making Call of Duty maps, and I think they had their hand in developing the remastered version of this, and they did a great job. They're probably, at least they're still working. They had to sell their soul to the devil, with Activision or whatever, but at least they're still working. The studio's still going. Sadly, we don't have any unique masterpieces. Yes, this is a masterpiece. I refuse to hear anything bad about this game because I don't think there's anything bad about it. It plays fine. It's an excellent Wolfenstein game that innovated and developed and pushed the series and the story forward. Just like Machine Games picked up the mantle and took it from there. The same thing with Singularity. This game, development hell, major problems, virtually no publicity, but they did the best they could, and there's outstanding games. This is the finest Star Wars game I've ever played. Thank you, Raven Software. I love you guys. It kills me to see you making multiplayer maps now, and we won't get any more Raven games that I know of. It's so sad. It just absolutely kills me because game sales are doing poorly, and this is why I don't think that single-player games are dying. Another year or so we'll get no more single-player games because we are getting them. The proof is in the pudding. We're getting Mafia 3s. We're getting the Deus Ex Mankind Divided. We're still getting them. We're getting the Hitman episodic series. I'm not thrilled about the episodes. I'd rather get it all in one package, like the what was the other one called? I can't remember. The Hitman Absolution. It's a nice finished game. Yes, there's lots of extra DLC and things you can get for it, but it was a finished game. And it's sad to see so many of these studios closing their doors because no one is buying their games. This is why I go out of my way I bought this new Road Trooper that just came out, the opening day. I called and I was too sick, physically ill to make it down to pick it up. So I called my manager and I said, can you hold the game just for a day or so until I feel up to getting down there and picking it up? She says, Dean, no problem. For you, I'll hold it. Don't worry about it. We're only typically supposed to hold until the end of the day, but for you, I'll hold it for a couple of days. But that's it. I said, I'll be down. I'll pick it up. And I did. A great game. I installed it last night. I'm dying to play it this weekend. They made Rebellion, who made my wonderful Judge Dredd. Now, ironically, they also own the rights to the comic strip. So by supporting them and buying this and paying full price at $29.99, $30 at launch, I'm hoping that maybe, because these comics are related, part of the 2000 AD comics, and Judge Dredd is also owned by Rebellion. They own the rights to the comic as well as the character, the game, everything. So I'm hoping we'll get a remake of this. Both of these games were not received that well. They're kind of average games at launch, but that's why I'm hoping we'll get this one. Because I like this game. I've watched a complete long play of this, and it's a really cool game. I really like what I see. I'm dying to play this. And that's why you better believe I have the first Sniper Elite and the V2 one as well for the Xbox 360. I pre-ordered all of these games because I love Rebellion. They're the one, and I also have got the The Zombie Army trilogy I bought day one digitally. I'm still looking for a physical copy. And yes, I will repay full price for a physical copy because I want to support Rebellion. They're one of the few companies left that make games that I play these games I play all the way through. And then I play the DLC and then I go back and replay them again. Very good games. These are some of my favorite games. Just like the machine games. So you better believe I'm going to support these games. These are the games that I go out of my way to support. So that's my rationale for pre-ordering. Yeah, you get a few incentives. You might get some gun skins, or you get a new character, or maybe some cars or something by pre-ordering a racing game or something. But like the Call of Duty New World War II game, I'm going to wait on that. I could pre-order. I'm going to wait. I want to see how the campaign is and reviews, and then I'll buy it after the fact. Star Wars Battlefront 2, I'm going to pass on it. Like I said, I could do a rant just on that one alone. Very disappointed. I'm not into the multiplayer. The single player, I watched some gameplay of it yesterday just to quickly touch on it. And it shows you playing as the Empire, and they show them these wonderful set-piece moments on Endor, and they're like killing the rebels, and every time they would shoot a rebel in the gameplay, I would cringe. It's like I have to become the enemy, and to me, I've never played as the Empire. When I play the Battlefront games, I have never flown a TIE fighter, played as the Empire ever. It's just me. It's nice that they had an option where you can play as the Empire or the Rebel. That would be cool as hell. But for me, I'm a rebel scum proudly, and I will never. So I'm not interested. It has a single player game, but it's a female protagonist. They have to tick off all the the group session boxes. The focus groups. Okay, we gotta have a female lead. Check. It's gotta be. Let's make it edgy. We're on the Empire side. Check. Let's go right down the line. Put in everything. Put loot boxes. Put this, that. Every character, the new Star Wars movies, which I will never watch, they get characters from those in them. So for me, that game is, and if you want to buy it, that's fine. If you love the new Star Wars Force Awakens and those, that's great. I don't want to demonize you. I have my own convictions on that. And again, that's what this whole rant's kind of getting to, is it's stand for something. Make a stand for what you like. It doesn't mean you have to boycott it. It doesn't mean you have to demonize it to others. But just make a stand for the things that you like. If that game sells well, maybe they'll make more Star Wars games. But to be honest, I would have rather have had... Oh God, I hate these pop-up things. No. X out. I wanted this game. I wanted this new Star Wars game. I wanted the Star Wars 1313. This kills me. This was my hope. This was my hope for my single-player Star Wars game. But they said that they want to appeal to a broader audience. Well, reading between the lines, you know what that means. They want multiplayer. They're going to scrap that game. They'll maybe reuse some of the assets and elements from it, and we're going to get fucked. This poor team of wonderful people right here. I saw this tweet with them saying goodbye, and it's all I could do to keep from having tears welling up in my eyes. It kills me to see a talented group of people that love their job, that probably are working long days to make the games that we like, and they get the axe because of focus groups and ivory tower bullshit masturbation. I absolutely hate it. Some people have, get on a pedestal over, the microtransactions and the loot crate things, and believe me, I get it, even though it doesn't really affect me because I'm a non-multiplayer person, but this kills me. Solo is going the way of the dodo. Yeah, and they're talking about single solo games. There aren't. No, yeah, the Prey game didn't sell well. Dishonored 2 didn't sell well. Mankind Divided, Watch Dogs didn't sell well. This article is really good. Streaming is killing linear single-player campaigns. Yes, it is. And instead of getting linear stories, we're getting these big open-world games, which now people are burning out on those as well. So it's like linear is a bad thing. God forbid. Look, when I'm done with an open-world game and I've got, 40, 50, 60, 100 and something hours in it, I may never finish it again. That's why I haven't finished Mad Max yet. Because I know once I'm done with the story, I'll probably never return to it. I'll have the intent to return to it. Something tells me it probably never will. So I'm purposely dragging it out to try to enjoy the game as long as, just knowing that there's another 20 hours of it left to finish is kind of keeping me going with it. But it's frustrating, and this just absolutely kills me. You know, I saw Phil, this is an old news from Phil Spencer. I'll read this real quick. This is part of an excerpt from one of his interviews with someone. And this is what Phil says, old Phil Spencer. The audience for these big story-driven games, I won't say it's as large, but they're not as consistent. You'll have things like Zelda or Horizon Dawn that will come out, and they'll do really well. But they don't have the same impact that they used to have because those big service-based games that are capturing such a large amount of the audience. Sony's first-party studios do a lot of these games, and they're good at them. But outside of that, it's a difficult business decision for those teams. You're fighting into more headwinds. So we're going to get Sea of Thieves and more multiplayer-centric gaming from here on out. You got GTA 5 that was doing so well. My game of the year for 2000, I don't know, what was it, 13, 14, I can't remember. Wonderful game, 13 I think it was, along with Tomb Raider. I liked them almost equally. But I had over 100 hours in the Xbox 360 of GTA 5. They promised they were going to have, DLC of more heists and stuff. I said, it's going to be great. No, that once that GTA 5 Online took off, screw the single player. We can see where the money is. The money is in this online community. Something that I will never, ever touch. I was actually tempted to get into multiplayer because of the GTA 5 Online, because I wanted to have my own safe house and a garage, and I liked the concept of it. But then I went to a friend's house and I watched him play it on his, because he was set up in it online. I said, well, I'm going to just watch, see what it is. And all it was just people fucking you up, taking you out. The minute you try to do your own thing and do a race, get someone blowing you off the road with a rocket launcher. It's like chaos, which is fun in and of itself, but sometimes you don't want chaos. Sometimes you want to have fun online with your friends, and there's people that are trolling you in the game online. So that turned me off from it. That's just me. It's just my stance on it. So, but my point is, with all of this and with all of these great games and studios that are dying, is that we've got to support the games that we like. So if you say that you hate microtransactions, but then you buy the game anyway, and then you start finding yourself buying the microtransactions, well, guess what, guys? You're part of the problem. If you say, I made a stand on the Driveclub, I have sent, I can't even count how many times I've sent Turn 10 private tweets and public ones. Look, I love your games. Dude, I love Forza, but please make the ability to toggle the Driveclub off. Not everyone wants leaderboard stuff up their ass. Not everyone's into it. Some of us don't like those kind of things. Make it optional. In this day and age of customization, you can have and do and be anything and make your thing, customize it, take photos, send them, put them online, put them up on YouTube. I mean, make the simple ability to toggle the damn things off. You can adjust the aggressiveness, which will give you more or less points. I just watched a review from Easy Allies, I think, on this new Forza 7. Beautiful review, excellent editing, great footage, wonderful raw sound that Forza is known for, but the damn Driveclubs are still there. No sale. I don't know if I will ever buy an Xbox One. I wanted the Xbox One X. It would be kind of novel to have the most powerful console ever made, and it'd be kind of neat to see and buy the games and get something. For me, where I'm not a PC gamer, I could have the optimal looking games or whatever, even if they are at 30 frames per second as opposed to 60, whatever. But I'm happy with my Pro. For me to spend $500 for the X, there is a new World War II game, a flying game I saw that's going to be as an exclusive on the Xbox One. That does look really good. So because of Cuphead, which now I've heard that will probably have a physical release and probably will be on other platforms after all is said and done. You watch, mark my words. Same thing with Call of Duty. Oh, the only way to get this Modern Warfare remastered Call of Duty 4, you got to get this new Infinite Warfare. Then you can get it. I almost did it. I almost spent the $80. Now, Carrot at Angry Centaur Gaming actually did praise the Infinite Warfare. He was the only reviewer that held the game up and really put it in a good light. And as a big science fiction Battlestar Galactica fan, I could see it through his lenses, and I almost bought the game, but still, for me at the time, $80 was a lot of money, so I held off. I was going to buy this at $40. My next door neighbor, which I'm looking at his house right now, which I just painted, bought me this, thank God, and I'm dying. I have it installed. I still haven't played this. I've been in so much pain lately. I've just been kind of curled up in a fetal position, watching YouTube videos on my couch. But this weekend, I'm feeling a little bit better today, well enough to do this little talk, and I definitely want to get into some heavy-duty gaming. And I got some new things I'm going to be showing real soon on my channel, which I haven't done in quite a while, in the way of gameplay and me actually playing games, which I want to get back to. But again, it's just sad. I want to see, and this is why I pre-ordered this game like 3 years in advance, because I love the concept. I'm a huge Mad Max fan, and I doubt we'll see a sequel to this. It didn't do so well. No, very poor marketing. Warner Brothers just kind of let it die. Warner Brothers is kind of like EA. They'll hold up the games that they like, but when they think that they're not going to do well, they just let them die. You know, it's so sad. Right now it's this Shadow of Mordor sequel. You know, it looks like it's doing well, and I guess even that is laced with microtransactions or maybe pay-to-win stuff. I don't know. It looks good. I love Lord of the Rings, even though I'm not typically into medieval types of games, but it does look very good, and I'm interested. So I built my channel supporting the games I like. I built it, more importantly, making a stand. I made a stand. I made a stand when I saw the Microsoft reveal event in 2013, and I saw the Force Connect and the DRM thing and everything, and I just said, and I was all set to get, I wasn't even going to get the PS4 thing. Microsoft all the way. I love the original Xbox. I love the 360. Screw Sony, I'm getting this. And then I saw the direction it was going, and I said, in good conscience, I can't. I'm not loyal to Microsoft or the brand name. I mean, I love Chevrolets. I've bought more new Chevrolets than any other car, but finally I found a truck I like better than all the Chevy trucks I have. I love my Dodge Ram truck with a Hemi in it. It's got 77,000 miles, not one problem. I've had very good luck with this truck, and I drive the living hell out of it. It's a great truck. It'll probably be the last truck I'll ever need. So because of that, instead of buying another Chevy, I bought another Dodge and bought my Challenger Hemi RT recently, the Blacktop Edition, because I'm so happy with the Dodge product, and the Hemi is like a 300,000 mile, very reliable, bulletproof motor that's virtually unbeatable, gets excellent mileage, is incredibly reliable. So I'm loyal to things within a certain degree, but when I see something that for me works better, then I'll go with that thing. And it's the same thing with games, the same damn thing. And I urge you, make a stand. Don't profess it. That's it, I'm not going to buy this game, but then go out and buy the game anyway, because you become part of the problem. Stand. If you don't like the direction gaming is going, then don't support those trends. Don't buy those things that you feel are damaging gaming. Like the Watch Dogs, wasn't into the Watch Dogs game. I'm not into the hacking thing and all that. So I didn't buy those games, but I do like the Far Cry games. I'd like to get this new, and I might still. I just didn't like their marketing towards it. But I like Ubisoft. I'm not big on the Assassin's Creed, but I like their formula for the Far Cry games. It's a fun open world game. Open world games are fun. I like them. But I won't boycott them just because I want to see more linear games. Because frankly, we're not getting a whole lot of linear story-based games, if at all. I mean, this Wolfenstein one, I think, is probably one of the only ones coming out. So I'm just like praying, like, God, I don't want them to go, Machine Games to go under, because, and I got the $100 collector's edition of that ordered. Not that my little few dollars is going to keep the company afloat, but if enough of us work together and see trends that we like and trends we don't like, and we hold to it, we can see change happen. Even EA listened enough because of the backlash with no single-player campaign in the first Battlefront to at least put one in this one. Now, it just so happens that it doesn't appeal to me, but many of you will love the single-player campaign. I don't know if it'll be 3, 4 hours, 10 hours, I don't know, but it looks really polished for what it is. Just, it's not my cup of tea, but you'll have something fun to play, and you can at least return to that. If I knew that that game had like the skirmish modes like they eventually put into Battlefront 1, I would be more tempted to get it. Even if I didn't play the campaign, at least I could do my skirmish modes with the classic set-piece moments or the prequels or the original trilogy. It would be kind of cool. I'm just not into the new, what I call the faux Star Wars movies that are non-penned by Lucas. I think that's the beginning of the end for the Star Wars franchise that I love, but that's another rant, which I'm terrified to do because of the hate I'll get for that. That's why my channel is never going to really take off, because I have kind of a niche audience, people that kind of see things through a similar perspective, maybe not mine, but a similar perspective, that like single-player games, that prefer owning their games, that prefer playing offline, and that like some of the types of games that I like to play, even some of the more considered average games or bad games, if there is such a thing. Those are the games that I really enjoy, and those are the ones I'm going to hold up. I had a stack of games here. These I've been playing recently. I just bought Driveclub and have it installed. I'm finally going to play this weekend. I've been playing quite a bit of this Baja Edge of Control. I love this. I love remastered games, and that's why I buy them as soon as they come out, because I want to see more of them. I don't know why everyone thinks remastered games are terrible, but I really like them. So again, I urge you, make a stand. Support the things in gaming that you like. If you like remastered games, then buy them. Don't wait for them to hit $9 in a bargain bin, because the studio may be out that's making them. This guy, I think these guys that made all the MotorStorm games, and I would have preferred another MotorStorm, frankly, but now they're gone because of all the problems it's had at launch. It's trying to be too many things to all people, especially with the online thing, and fucked it up in the process. Now they've got a great offline product. I have a season pass. I paid for like $30. I own an enormous game with a lot of cars, all the tracks, tons of events, and I can play them all offline. My PS4 has 75 or so games in it right now, and every single one of them I can enjoy offline. Now, tomorrow, next month, a year from now, years from now, if I can maintain and keep the connection going, I don't know. I've got many friends of mine that are disenchanted with the way gaming is going, and especially with the new gen and what's coming in the future. There's always online connections, the microtransactions that are hot and heavy in every single game. I have a few friends who are at the point where they're saying, and I'm hearing this a lot, we're talking dozens of gaming friends and people, or viewers and friends of mine that I know, and some of them have made videos about it. They say, Dean, I'm getting done. This may be the last generation of consoles for me, because I don't like the direction gaming's going. I don't want it going. If it goes the way of the servers, I'm bailing completely. If it goes the way of all digital, I'm not thrilled about it. If I can find a way to preserve my games, kind of like you can with Steam and a PC, so even if you change PCs, you still own all those games. The concept of that, I agree with. Even though I don't like digital only, I don't want to say, that's it, if it goes all digital, I'm jumping ship. But if it does go the way of servers and the cloud, I'll have nothing to do with it. I'm not interested in PlayStation Now and renting games. I'll never do that. I like to own my games and my gaming collections. I used to rent tons of videotapes from Blockbuster and mom and pop video rental places, but once I discovered I could buy them at Suncoast Videos and a lot of places that were selling DVDs, I started building a library, and it's like I never rented again, or didn't have to. I'd rent movies just to see if I liked them. If I liked them, then I would buy them. But I'm the same way with games. I like to buy the games I like. I stayed away from this Terminator Salvation for years because of bored, terrible, jaded reviews. This is the game I'm playing right now on the Xbox 360. This is one of the best games I've played in years. I am shocked. Of course, I like the Terminator Salvation movie. I don't understand the hate towards the film. I certainly don't understand the hate towards this game. Grin or whatever that made this game did a wonderful job. Excellent lighting, great graphics, solid cover-based shooter, very smooth, fluid gameplay. I have no qualms with this game. I feel ashamed that I stayed away from this game for so long. I'm just now discovering how good it is. Where's the other ones? I was going to point out some other games. I've been playing, I just got this Wheelman yesterday. It was another game with terrible reviews. It has a lot of the sleeping dogs type jumping from one car to the next. Those kind of Max Payne slow-mo racing drive-by shootouts. It has some things that I like. I can see some of the staleness and the bland environments, not a lot of life in the city itself, but there's some fun things. And in my quest to get a lot of driving action racing games, I thought I'd buy this and give it a chance. I even bought this Ride to Hell Retribution because my good buddy Lee, who's a good friend of mine Facebook, watches my channel for quite a while and sent me a Facebook request. I chat with him almost daily. We chat through Facebook Messenger. And he bought this game and just played it all the way through and said, Dean, this game is really not that bad. Give it a chance. So I looked online and watched reviews. Initially, all I saw was horrific reviews. I found a couple people that actually kind of like this game. You just have to see it for what it is. I think it's one of those B movies that's so bad it's good. I almost think it was intentionally made as kind of a cheesy, schlocky B film, B type game. You can see it had a lot of promise, that it was going for something much better. The graphics actually aren't too bad looking. In aspects of it, the art style I actually like. And it's funnier than shit. I've watched a lot of gameplay of this. And in fact, Giant Bomb did like an hour and a half gameplay. It was the last game that Ryan Davis played right before he passed away, sadly, was this game. And him and Jeff Gertzman went through it. I laughed so hard watching this. So for the few dollars I spent, 15 or 20 bucks I think I spent for this, I'll get my money's worth. I'll have a good laugh playing this. And I'll enjoy it, because I can have a good time. I play games to have a good time, not to sit and dissect them, rip them apart. That game sucked. I'm going to tell the world it sucks. And go on and do a review of how it sucks. Put on Twitter that it sucks. Tell everyone it, because it doesn't. I'll find the fun in it. I see the flaws in it, believe me, but I'll have for the fun of the game. L.A. Noire I have pre-ordered because I'm dying to get the remaster. I don't see the hate that the remaster of this is getting either. But, not everyone liked L.A. Noire. Not everyone cared for its strange. It's a very unique game. There's really nothing else like it out there. So people are expecting something. I think it's expectations. I really like this game, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'll support the company by pre-ordering it. I don't know if Team Bondi's gone or not, and if we'll ever get another one, but they were going to make that Flower of the Orient. There's going to be a sequel to it, which I think got shit canned, sadly, because of the problems Rockstar was having with Team Bondi. But it's a shame. I'd like to see more of these. I'm hoping the new Red Dead Redemption is going to be a solid offline story, narrative-driven, story. Maybe an open-world game, but a good single-player game. And it's not going to go the way of GTA Online, but that's yet to be seen. There hasn't been too much released on that yet. But that's my thing, guys. Stand for something. Make a stand for what you want with gaming, and be consistent. Many people I know right now are at the thresholds where they don't know whether to jump ship or not. And I have friends that have jumped ship. Dean, I'm not the least bit interested. Not the least bit interested in the direction gaming is going, and they're just sticking with the retro stuff. I'm not there yet. I'm still hanging on. So far, I've got 75 plus games, I think, for the PS4. I can play all of them offline. As far as I know, they're all backed up in my hard drive, and as long as I keep my PlayStations going and keep buying the new ones, hopefully I can keep maintaining, kind of like Steam on a PC, all of those games, and I own them. I hope. But like I said, if it goes the way of, the cloud or server-based, I'll jump ship. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in multiplayer at the expense of single-player. Rainbow Six game that all of a sudden now doesn't even have a single-player campaign, or Payday the Heist, or a lot of these great games are wonderful concepts. Just give us a mode against bots. That's all. That's all. Give us the first Star Wars Battlefront. Give us the Death Star DLC and Bespin and all that. Give us a skirmish mode for that. But they've already done the research. They won't invest the time in it. They won't invest the time in making that offline. They've already milked their cash cow. They milked all the money out of the multiplayer for everyone that bought all the DLC or microtransactions. So they have no desire to give us more of that for the single player. And this is what focus groups and ivory tower thinking is doing to gaming. You get corporate types that know nothing about video games making the choices of what's going to be in our goddamn games. That frustrates the hell out of me. I don't like that. We need to let them know. And that's why it's frustrating. Like my last rant, I try to let them know on the Gran Turismo sites, official sites. It looks beautiful. I love the game, but please give us an offline career like you've been known to give us in the past. Is it asking too much? Can't you just give us more of what we love and make us stand? Don't buy the game if it bothers you. But a lot of people, I got Mark Bussler, did multiple reviews of this new Gran Turismo Sport. I won't watch them. It's not because I don't want to support Mark, but I don't want to leave and look at the game. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't want to waste the time watching a review of it because the game means nothing to me. So I will make a firm stand, and I urge you to do the same thing. Make a stand, whether you have a YouTube channel or not. If you're a gamer and you feel strongly and convicted about something that you like in a game or don't like in a game, you're very concerned about trends in games, make a stand and don't waver from it. I have done that since 2012. I said, that's it. I will not buy any more multiplayer online-only games. That's why The Crew I never bought. That last Need for Speed game, I wouldn't touch it. So many online-only games I'd had nothing to do with. I finally bought the Battlefront once they went back and added more single-player offline skirmish mode content. Then I bought the game. And I got it for like $20 for the deluxe version, which came with a few extras, but only then. It's a shame. I would have liked to have bought the game at launch and supported, EA and DICE. I like DICE. I like the work that they've done on the Battlefield games. But it's frustrating to me. The last Battlefield 1 I got because it had a wonderful campaign in it. It's a very impressive campaign. I've done the first couple missions in it, but I haven't got past that. I need to return to that one. I'm not real big on World War I. I think that was my problem with it. But the fact that they put a campaign in, the same thing with Battlefield Hardline, that was enough for me. I will support the game and buy the game at launch because I want to get more single-player content, even if it's a 5-hour Call of Duty Ghost or Battlefield 3 or whatever. That's okay. At least I get something out of it, and I'll gladly support the companies with my actions, not just my words, but with my actions. Make a stand. A man that won't stand for something will fall for anything. Stand up for what you believe in and what your concerns are for the future of gaming, and really stick to your guns, because I think in the end it'll pay off. If we all stick together, well, a lot of us profess we want the same things, but you've got to be congruent with your actions, and I think that will make the biggest difference, my friends. So thank you so much for sitting through this rant. I felt very passionate. I haven't felt 100% today, but I wanted to get this off my chest. I feel so bad for this team, for these wonderful people at Visceral here. It kills me to see another studio that makes so many of the games that I love. So many studios are gone. They're all gone. They're all gone. Tons and tons and tons and tons of studios are going the way of the dodo. And it's so sad. It's so sad that we've lost so much because we don't stick to our guns. We allow these trends, and all of a sudden one day you wake up in a state of complacency and you realize the industry and the hobby you love is no longer there. Not the way you knew it. This is why I'm building an older library of 7th and 6th and 5th gen games, because I see the day is going to come where, and I'm already prepared, and I have no qualms over. I'm not going to shed too many tears. I'm just going to move on. If I can continue with my PS4 library and keep them going, keep playing offline games, I'll do it. And I'd like to get the PlayStation VR for sure, certainly. And if I can do it, if I can afford it, I'm encouraged because of the backward compatibility with the Xbox One. The Xbox One X looks fascinating as far as a piece of console hardware. For that reason alone, I'm very tempted to get one, but it's going to have to wait. And right now, Microsoft has been kind of on my shit list. So I'm waiting for them to come up with something more that I like that warrants me spending, for me, $500 is a lot of money. And I'd have to sacrifice, not buy a whole lot of games to be able to pay for that. And even then, I got to buy some Xbox One games to even play on it. So that represents $600 or $700 to me right off the bat. So I'm going to wait on it, but I want to support it. I'm pulling for Microsoft. I want them. Maybe all of a sudden they'll listen and they'll start making. I like Quantum Break game, looks good. Rise, Son of Rome looks good. That new World War II flight game that looked great looking gameplay I saw of that. I can't remember the name of it. Looks really good. I would like to play that. They're getting closer, but we'll see. But anyway, that's my rant, guys. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy your games and enjoy your weekend ahead. I really appreciate your support. Thanks again.